Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, May 9th, and this is the AgYield War Room. I'm Dan Dempsey, and I'll be moderating today's session. As always, if you get any questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line in the chat area, and we'll be sure to get to it during the show. Overnight markets here: July corn up 4 3/4 at 452 1/4. July soybeans were up 5 at 1050, and July Chicago wheat was up 3/4 at 530. Had a couple of export sales announcements here this morning. 288,000 metric tons of corn to Mexico, 95,100 for old crop, 192,900 for new crop there. And also announced 120,000 metric tons of soybeans to Pakistan for new crop 25. As we wrap up the week here, guys, I guess what we know here this morning, I've got a big meeting with China on Saturday. It should be interesting to see what comes out, what the rhetoric will be. President Trump putting out a truth here this morning that, there's the potential to go to 80% tariffs on China, but that'll be up to Bessett and how the meeting goes. So kind of got the outside markets turned around a little bit here. We're up 100 in the Dow. Also announced yesterday is the first trade deal, I guess a agreement and understanding with the UK. We'll talk a little bit about that here shortly. And then we've got looking ahead to Monday, we'll have crop production in WASDE. We'll kind of get the first look at the balance sheets for this upcoming year. So that'll be well anticipated as well. So I guess with that, Justin, a lot to wrap up here this week. Maybe give us some initial thoughts, looking at the UK agreement. I guess the two things that kind of stood out was, the ethanol piece and certainly the beef piece. But I know you had been kind of eyeing just what these first initial deals will look like and kind of get maybe a precursor to what we could see down the road. So a few thoughts, and then we'll throw around the room.
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously UK's one of the smaller ones, but just trying to get the tone of, they talked ag a lot. And I mean, multiple times during the press conference, it was kind of the first thing they talked about, brought it up multiple times. So I think that's encouraging. I was surprised that the market was, kind of sold off, during that. And obviously we recovered later in the day and then overnight. But, the fact that ags seems to be kind of top priority on some of these deals, I think is encouraging. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing, India, some of these bigger countries, kind of what those deals look like. But if the trend is, focusing on ag to a large degree, I think that's super encouraging. And I think we've discounted, the lows that we were trading yesterday. I think we've, really discounted any kind of deals. I think we've maybe gotten a little ahead of ourselves on how big the crop's going to be for Monday's WASDE report. To a point where I don't know what the number is going to say on Monday that would make you ultra bearish at these levels. So that's just kind of my take on it. I think we've obviously forced funds to get out, momentum selling, technicals, whatever the case may be. I think we maybe got ahead of ourselves a little bit yesterday.
Is the ethanol piece, in your mind, is that any sort of a byproduct or factor into the corn market, or could it potentially be?
Yeah, it could be. Like I said, they're not the biggest buyer, not the biggest market, I should say. So if you start getting deals like that, like with the EU, obviously we had, UK's on its own away from the EU with since Brexit. So, do other deals kind of go that way as well? That's obviously EU is a much bigger market than just the UK. So yeah, it's positive, right? It's just not big enough to move the needle to bullish, I don't think. It's certainly the right direction.
Oh, very good. Ben, what's on your mind this morning?
Yesterday was a day that looked pretty ugly, especially on long-term charts most of the day, and we battled back. I kind of to concur a little bit along with Justin's lines. I don't know why anyone will want to be super short going into this report. I think that the 2025 corn is the expectation I think it's pretty clear. There's not a lot of variables that will change on that. The old crop is where you could see some changes, and we've just seen a massive collapse in the July D spread. So we'll see what happens. Today may be a quiet day. we'll see. We broke and we found more corn business, right? We're extending, feels like our export window, which feels good. And we'll see how they want to play it today.
Very good. Dustin, give us some closing thoughts here on the week for what you're looking at.
Yeah, the report out on Monday. The first 2025 balance sheets posted by WASD. I think there's been recent gains in the bean corn ratio. A lot of that's been just from drops in corn. Ben mentioned July July collapsed, led by old crop, led by the front end of the market. Spreads have all widened out quite a bit. So like Dees July, Dees, those have all, have fallen to pretty low levels as well too. So, the ratio between beans and corn has been rising, largely led by the move in corn, which is often what we see. Whenever the ratio is really low, a lot of times that corresponds with big bull market years like 2012, where it's really about corn strength rather than bean weakness. What was unique about this recent sell-off in the ratio, this is beans divided by corn, was that it was led by beans. And the market, it just come off of a pretty good, year expectation for Brazilian first season bean crop production and leading right into a trade war with China. So, we got to a pretty low ratio, and we encouraged a lot of corn acres in that March 31st report. It's also a big corn acreage year rotation. Now we're talking about today, President Trump reducing tariffs, right? They're obviously willing to try to play ball here. And they have a limited time where they can do this before we get into, midterm season. At least that's a lot of the market's perception is. So if any sort of deal comes about of this, I think beans are just starting to kind of show some strength to corn, and we're starting to move past some of these long-term moving averages. So I'm hoping to see some opportunities for actually marketing beans here in the next couple of months before the end of the seasonal, at least, end of June. Somewhere above $10. If we start seeing something in 11, I think you get a lot more interest from U.S. growers starting to sell. Anything in the 10s from what we've seen has been largely a negative return at average yields for the average grower. So we'll see, but it's kind of like here's the hoping. We're just finally starting to see some signs of support here.
Very good. And I'd be remiss if we didn't ask, I guess, Justin, Northern Illinois, northern part of the state, wide open planning window. I mean, kind of getting towards the back half, at least for most guys, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, things are looking really good. I mean, I think that's obviously part of the weakness in the market too, is just, it's been really good conditions. So,
yeah.
At the end of the day, the market's trading record yields. So if you're that excited about getting it planted, I mean, that's kind of part of the equation. So like I said, I think we got a little ahead of ourselves, but yeah, conditions have been great. So put that in the pro column, I guess. Now, if you look at, the country as a whole, we're about average. Now we'll see what next year, maybe we pop above average, but I think we're just, I think a lot of farmers were excited to get out there and plant and not look at the markets for obvious reasons. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so far, I mean, we're pretty good conditions. I mean, I think it's going to really be that, obviously, the long-term forecast. Are we going to be in a dry, hot pattern or not? I mean, that's the same as every year, right? So I think we've moved past we got it planted. Now what? So, or close to it.
Very good. Ryland, let's wrap up here with cattle. Another round of fresh highs. So very optimistic there. It's good stuff. And then feels like hogs, really with the Goldman roll going on, it was kind of a spread day in hogs. So I guess give us your wrap for the week.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some of that UK trade deal news got us a little bit whooped up on the cattle side, but it seemed like just overall cash is king. I mean, we were seeing cash trade at 225 to 228 in the north yesterday. It's like $6 to $10 higher. So cash is still going parabolic. Packers just are continuing to pay up, and it seems like that trend is not slowing down anytime soon. And in general, the market is still carrying this discount relative to those prices. There was 220 trade in the South yesterday, so it just seems like there is not any bad news. There's nothing to really force the market lower here outside of us just waiting to see if there is a day where somebody says, "Hey, just get me out. I made enough money being long this market." I mean, we haven't seen that kind of capitulation yet. So I think that is a risk on the table right now, but right now the fundamentals are just too strong to really shake anything out otherwise. So we'll see. But yeah, as you said, Goldman roll has been going on. Obviously, there's a lot of commitment just getting moved from the front option to the second right now. Could create a pretty volatile environment. So like I said, it feels like the trend's still going to continue into the weekend. Maybe we see a little bit of profit taking into that, but the news is just too good right now to really sour any expectations. And yeah, on the hog side, just not much news really to speak of on that front. Didn't seem like the UK deal really mentioned anything in pork. So I think we're going to be watching to see if there's any hard China deal kind of news just in the upcoming days. So maybe this will get the hog market out of its funk, but you did have June kind of finish below that 20-day moving average. We're starting to trend lower. Seasonally, futures are in kind of a vulnerable time frame, but overall product markets are expected to stay firm. And so it feels like that's kind of what we're trading. Carcass was down 260 or down 104 yesterday, coming in at 94.50. So it just feels like overall that's just not seeing the gains in the product market we'd like to see, and it's starting to keep that kind of lower trend for right now.
Very good.
So we can talk about the Pope being from Chicago. I mean, maybe that helps.
Well,
maybe that helps the grain markets.
maybe if he was, knew a member at the board of trade, that would help.
Yeah, maybe he's on the board. I don't know. I
we'll have to see. Hopefully, he's just a Bears fan. I think. That's
I did see. So CME prices have gone up. I don't know if you guys noticed this. The membership prices have really started to jump with the class action lawsuit going on, and Nancy Pelosi is listing her seat for lease.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
If you go to the CME website, Nancy Pelosi Trust has a seat. So
is it a full membership or
yes,
what?
Of course.
I mean, just throwing it out there.
Does it come with recommendations or?
Yeah, I mean, maybe inside trading's done.
It's a guaranteed win right there. Picking that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know a certain person running the free world that maybe should go buy that. That'd be pretty classic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. We made it, guys. Let's it's everybody's favorite time of the week. It's Fun Fact Friday. Bri, take it away, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Happy Friday, everybody. And speaking of Nancy Pelosi, happy Mother's Day to all these wonderful moms out there. If you forgot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good segue.
Yeah. If anyone forgot, you still got a couple days till Sunday. So moms just do amazing things for their children, to keep them on that straight and narrow path and just make them feel like they're the most amazing gift ever received. So here are some of the fun things moms have done for their children. One mom forgot to leave some money from the Tooth Fairy. So she wrote a note the following day from the Tooth Fairy Union, apologizing for the delay and left a little overtime pay for their child there. So moms love being involved with school. One mom got so involved with their kid's science project, helped make the volcano. It was so realistic. It had LED lava. So some parents were like, come on, And then speaking of school, they just love being involved. School spirit, one mom mistook that and actually came to the school dressed up like a unicorn when you were only supposed to wear blue for the school colors.
That was Ryland.
Yes, you're right. I can see that.
I may have a mask laying around somewhere.
Yeah. Moms definitely just go the distance for their kids. One kid, complained that her imaginary friend was not in their vacation pictures. So she actually had scooped up all the pictures and actually photoshopped her imaginary friend into the pictures. So it's amazing things what moms will do for their children. Sometimes they got to keep them in line though, especially around the Christmas time. So one mom created a elf on the shelf surveillance system. Just a mom installed just a blinking red light and told her kids it was a live elf cam feeding directly to Santa. And then speaking of Santa, you can also just leave an empty Amazon box by the front door labeled "Return to Santa." That definitely improved their behavior for the most part. They also are the master of being sneaky. One mom could not get their child to eat vegetables, so she told her child that broccoli were dinosaur trees. Ryland, this is right up your alley.
Delicious.
And next you know, they're eating that broccoli crazy and just growling at it. So I thought that was pretty good. And then the moms become teenage moms. So now you got to get a little bit of revenge. One teenager complained about all these boring lunches she packed. So she sent him to school with a single raw potato, a fork, and a note that said, "Make better choices."
But I sent my son with.
I could
man.
Potatoes are great.
Yeah,
That's mom. That's an Irish mom there.
right there. Oh yeah, top of the morning to you. I mean, I could go on and on, and hopefully this jarred some of your memories of things that your mom did for you. So I think if you still can, the best gift to give your mom this year would be a hug and a thank you. And before I end, though, on a happy note, Ryland, we took the liberty of reaching out to your mom for some of the memories that she had that she did for you. She said there were just too many to remember. So, but she did say, you know what, we'll send you a pic of Ryland's birth. So, Jack, if you can cue the picture.
Oh, jeez. I mean, that's pretty much what it looked like.
Happy Mother's Day, all the great moms out there.
Happy Mother's Day. It was just like that from what they told me.
Just a lot more people in the room.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I think they dropped him.
Yeah, right off that cliff.
Oh, man. Good stuff, Bri. We just came into the open here. Let's we'll get a quick readout. July corn up 4.5, 452. July soybeans are up 3.5, 1048.5, and July Chicago wheat's down a quarter at 529. As we've mentioned, we will Monday have crop production in WASDE. That'll be out at 11 o'clock Central. So we'll visit about that on Monday. Again, appreciate everybody that tunes in on a daily basis. Throw us a like and certainly subscribe. It'll keep you up to speed on everything that's going on with AgYield. So again, thanks to everybody that supports the show. We're doing this live every day that the markets are open on X, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, 8:15 Central Time. Appreciate the thoughts and comments there this morning, guys. It was a good show. Happy Mother's Day weekend to all the moms out there. We hope you guys have a great weekend, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
The War Room is proudly presented by AgYield. For over 50 years, the AgYield team has provided grain marketing and risk management solutions for growers across the country. Our veteran consultants harness cutting-edge technologies to pinpoint risk, optimize market performance, and protect your farm's profitability. Discover a new approach to farm revenue management at agyield.com.
Hey guys, Jack here. Be sure to support the show by hitting the like button, leaving us a comment, and subscribing to the channel for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.